love making sourdough bread by hand, but when I'm making multiple loaves, it becomes a real time suck. For a long time, I thought about getting a mixer, but I was skeptical. Could I find one gentle enough that it wouldn't deflate the dough, while also building up the right amount of strength? Well, lovely people, I found one. There are a lot of bread mixers out there, but not a lot of videos that show you how to use them. I'm going to show you my spiral mixer, a Famag IM-8S. Let me show you what this puppy can do. Spiral dough hooks do a great job at kneading and strengthening the dough without building up excessive heat, which is key for sourdough. I want a slow, controlled fermentation to build up maximum flavor in my bread. With the Famag 8S, the hook spins in place while the bowl rotates, and the breaker bar helps scrape the dough off the hook. So you never ever have to worry about the dough working its way up to the head of the mixer and making a mess. You can literally turn it on and walk away as the mixer does the kneading. That said, there is a reverse button, which spins the hook in the opposite direction. Some people find this ideal for incorporating ingredients prior to kneading. If you do use it on an already mixed dough, keep an eye on it because the dough will rise. Frankly, I just keep the hook turning forward through the whole process, and it works brilliantly at every stage. This Famag has a very convenient tilting head and a removable bowl, which makes cleaning so much easier. I just use a little soap and water. Of course, the sooner you do it, the easier it is because the excess dough doesn't have time to harden. Pro tip, you'll also want to keep the sensor clean. That sits right above the rim of the bowl. If there's flour on it, the machine won't register that the bowl is on the mixer and it may shut off. When you place the clean bowl back into the mixer, don't forget to lock it in by turning the plate. Tilt the head down and lock it into place by spinning the little levers on each side. If these aren't tight enough, the mixer may not turn on. When I make a sourdough country loaf, I hold back 10 to 20% of my water from the initial mix, which I run on speed 1. Once the dough starts to pull away from the sides, I let it sit for half an hour to let the flour fully hydrate. And then I add the remaining water along with my salt, mixing on speed 3. Once that's fully incorporated, I'll put the speed up to 6 for a couple minutes to simulate the slap and fold session I would do by hand. I typically use my Famag to make at least 2 1-kilogram loaves. But if you wanted to make a smaller batch of dough, no problem. There is another breaker bar that sits closer to the hook and will work better on a smaller dough. Swapping the bar is really easy. You just unscrew it here. The Famag is great for mixing all kinds of doughs, especially doughs enriched with butter. For instance, my sourdough cardamom buns. If I incorporated the butter by hand, I'd end up warming it too much with the heat of my skin. But the Famag is perfect. The butter stays cold and blends into the dough beautifully. By the way, you can get the full recipe for these buns by clicking the link at the end of this video. And can I just say one more thing about this mixer? This is a good-looking machine. It's no wonder it's Italian made. I mean, look at the stencil branding. Tell me that's not chic. The Famag comes in all sorts of colors too, from sparkle silver to snapdragon yellow. Mine is in ruby. So that's how I use my Famag 8S. I have a link in the description to this exact product on the Pleasant Hill Grain website. They are the sponsors of this video. They provided me with this Famag. I'll also put links in the description below to my other baking equipment. I have a Como mill and a Rofco B40. Go check them out, and I'll see you next time.